Hi, my name is Tyreek Moore, CEO of TJT Consulting Services. And today I want to talk about something really, really important. Let me ask you something. When things do not go the way you plan, what do you usually do first? Do you look outward or do you look inward? Most people look outward. The market changed. The client was difficult. The team did not execute. Leadership didn't support me. Timing was bad. And listen, sometimes all of that is true, but here's the problem. The moment your default response is to look outward, you quietly give away your power. You move from being the author of your life to being a character in it. And that is where integrity and accountability come in. At TJT, when we talk about integrity, we're not talking about honesty. We're talking about alignment. I often say this. You know you're showing up with a high level of professional integrity when your mind, your heart, and your actions all are pointing in the same direction. In other words, when what you think, what you believe, and what you do are all aligned with your highest values. That is what it actually means to show up as the best version of yourself. Not when things are easy, not when people are watching, but consistently. And where it matters more than most leaders realize is in the workplace. Because culture is not about what you say. Culture is what you model. Culture is not your values on the wall. Culture is your behavior under pressure. Culture is not your mission statement. Culture is how people experience you when something goes wrong. And people are always watching. They watch what you tolerate. They watch how you respond. They even watch who gets rewarded. They watch who gets protected. And then they quietly calibrate what is actually safe, what is actually important, and what actually matters around here. That is how culture is built. Now let us talk about what happens when integrity drifts. People stop saying what they really think. Meetings become safer and quieter. Decisions slow down. Email chains get longer, hiding behind those emails. Problems get escalated instead of solved. And performance quietly flattens. Not because your people are lazy, but because psychological safety has eroded. And safety does not erode because of one big moment. It erodes because of 1,000 small misalignments. Now let us talk about accountability. This is where real leverage lives. Most people think accountability is about taking blame. It isn't. Accountability is about ownership. It is the moment you say, what did I do or fail to do that contributed to this outcome? It's not about beating yourself up. It's not trying to prove a point, but you taking your power back. Because if you own your role in the outcome, you now have the ability to change the next one. And that is why accountability is a hidden superpower. It turns you from someone who reacts to circumstances into someone who creates outcomes. It moves you from being at the effect of your environment, at the mercy of your environment, to being the author of your results. And here's something most leaders have never been taught. Every time you blame, you freeze your growth. Every time you own, you unlock it. Blame makes you small. Ownership makes you powerful. High-performing leaders understand this thing, and they understand this very simple point. Every single result is data. Every breakdown is feedback. Every frustration is information. Accountability allows you to turn problems into insight and insight into improvement. Instead of defending your ego, you strengthen your execution. Instead of protecting your image, you increase your impact. Instead of repeating the same cycles, you evolve. High-performing cultures all have this in common. People don't hide. They don't defend. They don't blame. They learn fast, adjust quickly, and move forward stronger and together. And here's the part most organizations miss. You cannot operationalize strategy without accountability. You cannot scale culture without integrity. You cannot build trust without both of them. Trust is speed. Accountability is consistency. Integrity is credibility. When people trust you, they work moving faster. When accountability is normal, problems get solved earlier. When integrity is visible, people feel safe and performance goes up. And this is not theoretical. We see it every day. Leaders once feel stuck at some point, and all of a sudden they start leading with clarity. Teams who once avoided conflict start solving problems earlier. Organizations that were stalled start moving again. Not because their market changed, not because their budget changed, but because of the way that they changed. They changed their behavior. And this is why TJT exists. We help leaders and organizations upgrade how they show up, not just what they do. Because when you upgrade the way people relate to ownership, responsibility, and alignment, you automatically upgrade execution, engagement, innovation, and results. Culture becomes lighter. Communication becomes cleaner. Accountability becomes normal. Performance becomes consistent. This is not theory. This is not motivation. This is the operating system of high-performing cultures. And it starts here with integrity and accountability. As I see it, integrity and accountability are the two pillars of any strong organizational culture.